Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ReQuest. It is I, Captain Logan, and joining me, as always, is Austin, who is also the Date Ghost.
That is correct.
How's it going, man? Thanks for joining me once again. I think you're going to end up being on a stream every night this week, Austin. It's very unusual.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it that way, but you're right.
Yeah, because you came on for. He's like, hey, wait a minute. You stole my whole week. What the hell are you doing?
What the heck? No, I didn't even think about it that way, but yeah,
Yeah,
I guess so.
because you came on for After Dark last night.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
then
and it popped in for a minute on the comic
you did a
show.
segment on the comic show, yeah. So I mean, it's not like it's been
Yep.
3 hours every night this week, but you have appeared on the channel in some place. If you're a patron, it's possible that you will have seen Austin 5 times this week, assuming that tomorrow's plans work out properly.
Although only one of those weeks was one where it wasn't a regular length show. I was laughing last night because After Dark opened with you being like, "Okay, we're gonna do an hour. We're just gonna do an hour," and we finished. And I looked at the time; it was 2 hours.
That wasn't my fault though.
No, it wasn't your fault. I'm not blaming you or
Brandon really
anything. It was just
stretched that by
funny.
the end. I was trying to end half an hour before that,
Yeah, yeah.
or more.
That's all good.
Anyway, well, tonight we're going to review a psychological drama that came out in 2008 that I had never heard of before. And it turns out that we are familiar with the director of this movie as a writer from another movie that Austin and I actually reviewed on this program like 3 or 4 years ago now. Which is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, I forgot
This
that he
is
did
that
that.
guy. And this is his
That's right.
directorial debut. Originally, this movie was supposed to be directed by Spike Jonze, who produced it, and then he decided to opt out in order to do Where the Wild Things Are.
Mhm.
Neither of these movies performed particularly well, although this was much more of a bomb, I think, than that was.
Yeah, and that's a movie I think people have turned around on. Like I remember when it came out, people really didn't like it, but
Well,
now I
this
hear more
apparently
people
has
defending it.
for a lot of people also. This is also a movie that's been like reappraised and has uh, something of a cult following, if you want to call it that. But this is heralded
Mhm.
as like a masterpiece in a lot of film circles, and Roger Ebert called it the best film of the decade, which was really surprising to me.
Oh, crazy.
He and I don't always line up on stuff.
That's not true. You guys are exactly the
Nope.
same.
Not true. Anyway, this movie is called Synecdoche, New York, and a real odd title in a movie about a guy trying to make a play who can't come up with a good title for his play. So it
Mhm.
is pretty appropriate that this movie has an odd, somewhat pretentious sounding title.
Yeah, for sure. Basically, vice versa, New York.
So this is a real heavy, depressing kind of movie, like deeply sad. I thought, and I about lots of stuff, but especially like the main driving theme is mortality and the ways that us human beings can't escape death, and that at the end of the day we're all the same in the saddest, most tragic of ways. Austin, best as you can, tell us what this movie is about, because this is, of course, a real surreal kind of movie with a plot that is intentionally difficult to follow, and a reality that you never know exactly what it is that you're looking at. We're back to another one of those.
Yeah, so this is about Philip Seymour Hoffman, as Cap has kind of said. He's making a play. He's like a play director slash write, and he has a family. He's got a wife and a kid, and then they leave, and he's depressed, and he's also dying of cancer. And then he gets
Or
with the box
something.
office girl or something, and he gets with the box office girl. He gets with another actress. He gets with a lot of people, but he's just always sad. His kid
His
keeps
his
like
wife
jumping
up
up in age every
his
time he
wife up and
sees
leaves
anything
him.
about her. Hmm. yeah, suddenly has another kid, just like time's constantly skipping, and then he makes a play about like everything that's happening in the movie, so it becomes a play within a movie, showing you everything that's happening, and he becomes a cleaning man for his ex-wife, and then he meets Oswald Cobb's mom, and the Penguin show starts.
And then, spoiler alert, he dies at the end of the film.
Hmm. Yes.
Because it's about the cycle of life, and the phrase "the end is built into the beginning" comes up constantly, and that's kind of one of the big motifs with the thing. And so
Hmm.
it's, appropriately, you kind of you have to see him die at the end. And I think one of the big tragic ideas is he has kind of a ultimately pointless life. This is my read on it, where he has this obsession with his art, and you get to the end of the movie, and he's been working on this play. There's a lot of absurdist ideas in this movie, and he's been working on this play for decades now, trying to mine truth, trying to find the reality in what is essentially just like trying to perfectly recreate his life, I guess. Like they build
Hmm.
the city in a warehouse and all of the locations that he's been in throughout the movie, and he can never land on exactly what the play is supposed to be about, and what like any of the dialogue will be. And he keeps casting new actors to play characters in his life, and he ends up casting actors like playing actors playing different people in his life. And then you get to the end, and he is just about to die, and he finally knows how to make his play, and then he dies, kind of suggesting that he's been so focused on like recreating reality, he's not really lived his life. Was kind of my big takeaway.
Well, yeah, they sum that up at one point in the movie where they say something. I forget the exact line, but it's something like, you're always like thinking about how to do it, or like waiting for like the exact moment to do something, that you never end up doing it. There's like a whole kind of
Yeah,
speech about that. Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
and this is one of those movies that's kind of more about the symbols and the larger ideas than it is about like telling a straightforward, like easy to sink your teeth into narrative. So that's not to say that there's not a character arc or a plot that is happening, uh, but it's a lot of it is, again, I think intentionally difficult to follow. Part of that is and I feel like we've reviewed a lot of movies like this now, Austin. But the idea of never being totally sure like what's real and what isn't, and we don't even totally know why our protagonist is having that problem through a lot of the movie. Because at first, I thought what we were looking at was a guy that has this debilitating illness that is making him hallucinate. And so maybe the very, very start of the movie, you're seeing more or less reality. And then as that illness continues to debilitate him, you've got this unreliable narrator where you're seeing a like weird twisted version of events. And then once he develops his play about what's really happening in his life, I start thinking that's not actually exactly what's been happening, because I think the movie wants his uncertainty of reality to start more there, where it's more like, am I like living in this play world or or actual reality? And I thought we had a break from reality even before that happens. So I'm confused as to what the internal logic of the entire piece is.
Hmm. Yeah, and I guess while watching it, like I didn't really find it was like hard to follow in that way. Like I thought it was pretty, just not like standard, but like kind of going from place to place, but like obviously with a lot of like metaphorical stuff in it, like how we handle like the kids with like the time skip, where it's like, well, obviously that's um, that kind of feeling you have as a parent, where like you feel like your kids 1 second are really little, and then you blink, now they're an adult, and you feel like you kind of missed like that side of it. Like we kind of do that metaphorically, like in how it time keeps skipping with that. um, but I thought like uh, the usual like moment to moment was like pretty easy to follow, and like not super um, like surreal or anything. I mean, like it is to an extent, but I guess what I mean is just like there was a lot of things like that where I'm like, okay, like I see what you're doing with that, like why it's surreal.
Well, I got a lot of the symbolism and the metaphor, but the reason I found it ultra surreal, and I'm maybe more so than I was supposed to, Austin, is because I kept feeling like
Hmm.
characters were acting in just extremely bizarre ways, and I couldn't be sure
Hmm.
if our protagonist was perceiving that incorrectly because he has this moment like not 10 minutes into the movie where he gets hit on the head real hard, and then from then on it seemed like people were acting even weirder than they had before. And so I'm sure on a second watch I would have a completely different
Hmm.
experience with this movie, but I thought it was a guy initially who was, and like I said, I lost this halfway through, but then the movie had kind of lost me at that point. So like at first, what I thought was happening was a guy that again is just experiencing reality completely, like incorrectly, like not at all the way it is. I like he's got his wife who's just completely ignoring this debilitating illness that he's having, and then just out of the blue decides she's gonna take their daughter and leave. And I guess the idea is they go to therapy and it doesn't work out, but like I didn't think the relationship was in like that much trouble. I don't know if the movie just didn't communicate that well enough, but anyway, I was kind of lost because I thought the movie was opening with this kind of initial premise of this guy is perceiving reality incorrectly.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it kind of like moves forward with like a dreamlike malaise to it. I think for me, like with that specifically, like so many of their scenes are just like um he's like, oh, this is my play, like I'm happy with it, and she's like, nah, it sucks, it's not true to your heart, it's generic. Like so many of their scenes are that, so I'm like, okay, like they got like a failing marriage. So the second she's like, oh, we're gonna go on a trip, I'm like, oh yeah, this is where she's leaving him, because he's like so out of it, and like you know doesn't know where his priorities are and whatnot, that he's kind of driven them away.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I wish I had had the time to get a second viewing of because I had a very weird experience with it on one watch and just
Hmm.
could not decide what I was looking at. I thought it was unreliable narrator
And I mean,
through
it can be hard
through a lot
sometimes,
of it.
dude. Like when you're,
I didn't
no, and it can be
trust.
hard sometimes, man. Like this is basically like a first reaction, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
we're looking at a movie for the first time, so it can be easy to be lost. Not that I'm saying that you were like lost in the movie, but I mean like lost in like a thought of like something like that. And I'm not saying that you're like wrong or anything, but like I've definitely had movies we've had that with, where like it kind of loses me on a track like immediately, and then it becomes kind of hard to talk about.
Well, especially with something like this that's intentionally got a real out there kind of internal logic. Like I found myself comparing it
Mhm.
a lot. Not that these are extremely similar movies, but they've got one big thing in common. I kept thinking about the Substance because that's another movie that has like a real heightened sort of reality and internal logic, and the big thing they have in common is they both got. Sorry, I'm distracted because I think we have a bit of a lag again. In a second, I'm probably going to hang up and call you back. But what it'll
Okay, I know. Yeah, there's some. I was having like some issue, but
but I they both have this kind of archetypal quality to them where everything in like popular culture seems very generic intentionally, and with this it even goes as far as to whenever he's watching television seeing advertising, the advertising is like extremely negative and cynical and targeted directly to him, and you see like his like cartoon face on characters in the commercials, and it's all very like self-centric with that guy. I
mhm.
but the difference between them is I felt like I could kind of even though there is that archetypal quality, I felt like I could really sink my teeth into the world, and I understood the weird internal logic from the get-go. I to at least some degree with the substance. I mean, that's still a really weird movie. But this thing, I couldn't grab on anything for the longest time. I
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that's like part of that. We always live in our own heads, as opposed to living for the moment kind of thing that the movie like that. Um, oh,
let
are
me
we
let
are
me
we
call you
good?
right back. Give us a second. I don't know why we're still having this problem. Look, there's two of me. Hopefully, he's coming back. Austin's also at a different house than he usually is, and that might be
Hey.
part of the issue. Austin, can you hear me?
Yep, yep, yep. Sorry, just give me a second. My Discord was still turning back on when I was answering, so it only went to audio. But there we go.
Well, anyway, hopefully we can get through this. Sorry, it's frustrating that we're having this issue again.
Yeah. Damn Discord.
Austin, I had I and another kind of odd element to my experience with this
Yeah.
is there's another movie I kept thinking about because just all cards on the table from the start. I felt like this movie was it seemed a bit self-indulgent and a bit pretentious, and I kept hoping that it would really win me over on ideas and stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's very inventive, and there are some really cool ideas I appreciated, particularly the house on fire notion. The idea of like that as a surreal image was cool because it's again that idea of the end built into the beginning and the things that we like do to ourselves early in life that kind of bite us in the ass later in life. So like you do a thing knowing it's probably gonna uh like be a problem later, or take years off your life, but you do it anyway. So she moves into this house knowing it's going to kill her, and that's a thing we can all relate to some degree. But I think that's also supposed to be a metaphor for just life itself, like the burning house. And this comes from I looked this up. Apparently, that idea comes from like an old Tennessee Williams line, and there's a lot of stuff with this movie that's over my head, and I feel like I'm just not educated enough with with certain like literature and stuff to know what the hell we're talking about. So that one I looked up because it felt really specific. And the idea is supposed to be we all live in a burning house in the sense that we're in the way that we're dying from the moment we're born. Like we can't get out of it. There's no stopping the again debilitation. Like eventually the house is gonna fall down and we can't get out of it. And so I thought that was a really spectacular kind of idea. Overall, I thought the thing was kind of pretentious, and that made me think about Birdman because that's another movie that is in some ways like intentionally pretentious, but also talking about pretentious things. And some people look at movies like that and go like, is it covering for how pretentious it is by also commenting on pretentiousness, and then that cancels itself out? But I had the opposite experience with this that I did with Birdman, where Birdman's a movie that I really appreciated all the way through, and and like its ideas about film criticism and stuff really spoke to me. And then in play criticism, whatever. And then you get to the end of the movie, and I felt like the ending was super pretentious, and it almost ruins the film for me. This I had the opposite thing. I thought it was pretentious all the way through, and then I really appreciated the ending. Like the ending really spoke to me when a lot of the rest of it I wasn't sure what to do with. So that was very strange.
Mm. Yeah, that is weird. It's not often you see that where a movie kind of loses you, and then in like the last scene, you're like, "Oh, okay, no, this is good." Not like necessarily that it always wins the entire movie over, but just the fact that it like lands that well.
And that's why I wonder if I saw it a second time, if I might appreciate more of it, knowing where it's going, and the kind of the Fight
Yeah.
Club thing, because I've had that with a lot of stuff, but
Mm.
I don't know, going into this one cold, and not knowing what I was getting myself into, and also just not remotely being in the mood for this kind of thing today. I don't feel like I got off on the right foot with it, and I don't feel like I was able to like fully appreciate it on its own terms. There's also kind of definition of you probably need two viewings.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. Sure, no, I can see that.
But what was your experience with it?
Boredom. uh, no, and you know, it's like I can appreciate this. Like I feel like this is a movie that's probably more interesting to talk about than it is to watch for me. Like I think it probably lands more in that line. Um, this is a much better movie than what I'm about to compare it to. But it reminded me of like watching through that movie Blonde, the Marilyn Monroe movie that came out in I think 2020, where it was just like um, endless like oh my god, like just uh, like I said, the kind of like malaise where it's like okay, like yeah, okay, yeah, and. I don't know. Like it's one of those movies where I watched it and like I feel like I get what it's trying to say. I get where it's coming from, what it's doing, scene to scene. Um, it just never really like interested me. Like it might be a case like you said of that. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mood for this today or whatever. But um, I don't know. Like that pretentious side that you're talking about, like it hit me like immediately and I was like, "Oh, this is hard to get through." And I felt like it just got like worse and worse as it went along. Like once we got more into like the play within a movie stuff, I was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of out of
Yeah, I
this."
was real checked out by that point.
Hmm.
And it's sad because you need all of that for that ending to work. And like I
Hmm.
said, like it did really speak to me by the end.
No,
Um,
it's something where like I can't say that the quality's bad.
yeah,
It's just not a movie for me. I think is kind of at the end of the day
yeah,
how I
I
feel
definitely
about it.
had that. It
Um,
certainly felt like homework, and
Yeah,
it's the
because even a lot of the stuff that kind of turned me off, where I'm like, okay, like this is just a lot. Like I'm not enjoying watching this. Like you said, it has to be that way. Like that's what the movie's about. You can't
hmm
change that. Like my criticism of it isn't like, oh, why isn't this movie happy? And I'm enjoying this guy living his life to the full extent. Like, no, obviously not. Um, it's
yeah.
just
I'm not complaining that it's depressing. I I just wish that I was more with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's more so just that where like I feel like I'm outside watching in through a window and like it's winter, so I'm not even enjoying like I can't even be like okay with that as an experience. Like it just kind of sucks, you know. And when I say that, because people are gonna be like, I love this movie. You just said it sucks, but I
Yeah.
just mean like my experience watching it was just long.
Well, and like I said, there's fascinating ideas here. Not a lot that I haven't necessarily seen like packaged in different ways. But like I don't know, even some a lot of the presentation is interesting. I just didn't care. I just wasn't with it. It's hard to even completely explain why, except part of it, like I said earlier, and it sounds like you didn't exactly have this. I but part of it was I just couldn't get a handle on these characters of the reality from the beginning. So I was so off on the wrong foot with it
Hmm.
that I kept going.
Yeah,
Like before I was supposed to, I think I kept going. Okay, is any of this really happening? Like, is any of this actually real? And yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot of interesting symbolism and stuff, but in a narrative, I I need that rooted in something. Otherwise, I might as well just read a paper about it.
Hmm. Well, yeah, and I think that's kind of one of the places that I struggled with is just that, and Philip Seymour Hoffman is obviously giving a good performance,
Yeah, he's working his
and it's
ass
not,
off.
yeah, and it's not that I can't find a handle on his character. I just like I'm not interested in his character. Like I just it never wins me over to
I
caring.
understood him and where he was coming from. I couldn't get a handle on his relationships. I wasn't 100% sure what made him attracted to the women he was attracted to. Like, the thing is, I feel like if I put pencil to paper, this is why it felt like homework. I feel like even on one viewing, although a second viewing would help a lot, if I started taking pencil to paper, and this is just kind of how my mind works, I think, Austin, I
Mm.
and I started writing out an analysis of this. If I did like a rewind type, uh, script about this movie, it would probably click for me. But I would have to do that before I understood this movie, or before I
Mm.
really cared about what was happening in it. And this could be one of those things where if I started really analyzing it in that way, it would click, and I would go, "Oh wait, no, this movie is brilliant." But the problem is, there's a difference between a movie being like like brilliant in analyzing it and being watchable. Now, I have had situations where once I did the analysis and I went back, it became watchable. It's almost like a Matrix kind of moment where it's like now I can see it. Like that now
Mm.
I get the code, and right now I'm still in the Matrix with it to some degree.
You're like I just want to eat steak.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, no. That's where it breaks down. No, I actually want to see the code. I don't want to,
Oh,
because
okay.
if I stay in the Matrix, I'm in this like really weird reality where I don't like any of these people, and I don't want to live with them for 2 hours.
Okay, well then I want to eat steak. My
But
bad, sorry.
to your point about it, I mean, steak does sound good, but that's a whole other. Um,
Right now I'm hungry.
to you, to your point from earlier, when you said this seems like a movie that's probably more fun to talk about than it is to watch, that's exactly what I'm having. Except I didn't enjoy watching it, so I don't really want to do that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you'd have
No, of
to.
course,
I'd
of
have to be in a
course.
class, and you'd have to force me to do that assignment. Like I don't actually want to write about this.
Hmm.
I feel bad about that. But I mean, like I said, a second viewing could make me feel differently about that, I guess. But it's difficult
Hmm.
to explain just exactly why I did not have the experience with this a lot of people seem to have. But this was a real polarizing movie when it came out. By the way, nobody saw this in the theater. It cost 20 million to make. It made 5 million in the theater. I I guess it recouped some of its receipts overseas, but like it did not do very well. And
Yeah, which makes sense to me because this feels like a movie that you have to be like a cinephile to enjoy.
no, absolutely, it's very art housey. How do you even sell it?
This is not for, yeah,
And this
like
feels
I
like the
wouldn't recommend this to anyone unless they were like really into movies.
yeah. Well, yeah, like there's such a literary kind of component to this. I hesitate saying it like that. Like I guess the symbolism of it. I wish the storytelling was a little bit. Well, I don't know. Then I'm rewriting it. But just for me, I wish the storytelling was a little bit more literary, so that it was easier for me to sink my teeth into it. Um, I mean, it does let you know just how like heightened it is at the start.
Hmm.
Like I guess that's good. But you said you've got to really be into movies to appreciate this. I feel like you almost have to really be into plays. Like this is much more of a play than it is a movie. And it seems like the kind of thing that would be impossible to put on a stage, so it's got to be a movie, but like the play within the movie thing, it almost feels more like a play within a play, even with especially like just the way it's written. This is very stage dialogue, like all the way through.
Yeah, but I mean that's just like one aspect of it. Like just kind of the whole thing. Like I think you really need to be a movie person to appreciate this. Like, um, but like,
That's fair, but I'm
y-
I'm suggesting you may even need to be both. Like I feel like this is a movie for people who go to the theater.
yeah, just any theater. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to see plays.
No, no, I know. That's what I mean. Like you have to go to all the theaters. You have to go to a play theater. You have to
All
go
the
to the movie
theaters. You gotta
theater.
go to
All the
concerts.
theaters. Got to go to an amphitheater.
Is
Yeah. Just,
is there a is there a version of this movie that you could make where he's making a movie instead of a play?
yeah, I think so.
I do
I
too.
think so.
In fact, it's a little odd. I mean, like it's pretty clear that this is a movie written by a playwright. I mean, you can tell that just watching it, but like I did some research, and this guy has written a lot of plays, and I it feels that's one of the things that makes it feel a little bit self indulgent. Is that's that line you're walking where it's like, are you writing what you know, or are you writing a thing that's kind of just for you? And so like his main character is putting on plays and he gets this endowment so he's able to do whatever he wants to with this big project. But if you made him a filmmaker instead, in a way, it would almost make more sense. Again, I'm hesitating because thematically, I kind of get why it's a play. You've got kind of the Shakespeare, like all the world's a stage thing. But
Hmm.
practically, what he's making is actually not a play. Like you couldn't have an audience come in and watch the thing he's trying to make, and maybe the lack of practicality is part of the point of it, because he's doing like this macrocosm kind of uh, kind of art making. You know, that's part of the point. Is like he can't see the forest for the trees, so he just makes, or he can't see the trees for the forest, I should say. Like it's all this kind of it's all grand. It's got to be his whole life, and then that's contrasted with his original wife, who makes tiny art. So she's got like the microcosm to his macrocosm. Like we're definitely doing something with that.
Well, the audience can't see the apartment through the building.
Right. And an audience wouldn't be able to see this either. So, like,
Hmm.
one is the extreme of too small and one is too big. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I'm getting why it's a play. But given
Mhm.
that the medium is film, there's a part of me that almost wishes it was a movie.
Yeah. One, to get to what you were saying about like how much like it is this person. Like I do think because Nicholas Bodo in the chat says that this is his favorite Kaufman movie. It really resonates with him, and I think that's exactly where you get that split. Is that it's so like specifically this guy writing. A character kind of similar to him in the same way that like a Stephen King or someone will do. Like a lot of people do just kind of write themselves, and like with how kind of specific it is, and like kind of analyzing its own medium, and like all that kind of stuff. With the play within a movie thing, like that's where that is like the exact line where it's like you're either gonna fall on this is self-indulgent and pretentious, or you're gonna like see straight through to the person, and it's like
Yeah.
such a direct connection to this exact person's brain, that you're like, oh, like I'm inside of you, man. Like
No, you're
I,
right. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I think that's like that exact
it's like
line. Like this is so specific
do you have
to
the
that
same
point.
neurons that he has? Like if you're
Mhm.
firing the way he's firing, then it's gonna directly connect with you.
Then you're all firing together. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, the only things that really resonated uh, were ideas. Were like just the broader notions.
Yeah, and
And some of the
like I
some of the
guess.
symbolism I thought was clever and creative, and maybe gave me a different perspective on things. But again, I could get that from a paper,
Mhm.
or or
Yeah,
a,
and I
or a
mean,
painting, or a music video, or like a lot of what really worked about this for me, I didn't need a story for, which is
mm,
what's frustrating about this kind of thing for me sometimes. And I have come to appreciate more and more the kinds of movies that guys like Connor like, where it's more just about how it makes you feel, and it doesn't have to be so much about, again, the straightforward narrative. But this time it didn't click that way.
mhm.
Like
Yeah, for sure.
I become more open to that kind of thing, but it didn't work this time
Yeah,
on
no,
a
it's not the
first
same
viewing.
thing. Like I like movies like that, and I don't, always love them, but like I do like stuff like that. And I think for me too, just as a person, um, like a lot of that meta stuff, like just kind of doesn't work for me. Like almost in general, like I tend to uh, kind of glaze over at like that kind of art about
Yeah,
making art, like that kind of a thing. So like I probably am more with the movie outside of that element of it. When it's about its own ideas.
yeah, it's funny because I think we've come to use the word meta in a real broad sense, where it can either mean uh like this kind of thing, the play within the play, the story within the story, or it reaches out into the reality you're in and sucks you into it. That's the kind of meta that tends to uh, that tends to resonate with me more when it
Hmm.
works. Like sometimes that can be awful, but when you start like making me question reality itself, where I'm thinking of your characters as like actual living people that could exist and might exist because they're like reaching through the screen to me, in that like I'm trying to think of good examples, but like the go-to I always go to is like the Lego movie. Like those kinds of things really hit me. The play within the play can, I mean, it can work, but I'm with you. I'm always skeptical of it.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is obviously very different, but in terms of making a play within a movie thing, we did watch that. It was a comedy though, that the Michael Caine one. So like, it's not like we're like 100% against that, but like, uh, I don't know, like this kind of like drama way. Like I was just kind of reads pretentious to me in a lot of ways. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and this isn't fair, but one of the things that makes me raise my eyebrow is when it's done specifically with plays, and this is so much uh, about the stage by a playwright that it feels like it's in that category, where I've seen the play inside of a play on stage so many times. And I you brought up Stephen King. Like that's a writer that likes to make a lot of his characters writers, and I roll my eyes at that a lot, and he gets away with it in several books. But like when I was in writing school, one of the first things we're told is like, yeah, don't do that, at least first time out. You know, like I don't get too I don't know, like drinking your own Kool-Aid. Like I'm a writer, so I'm gonna write about a writer.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, for
you
sure.
can do that, and we've all seen it done really well. But it's I don't know. It's overdone. Like is part of the problem. But I don't
Hmm.
even think that's ultimately the issue I had with this. It's just by the point that we got to that, it had already lost me,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and so
my thing was more so I
more
just found it really dull
pretentious.
to sit through.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Which is why I say
and
it's
it
probably
felt
more
like a
interesting to talk about because it was just my main issue is I just didn't really find it especially engaging.
and it was a 2 hour movie that felt like 4 hours.
Yes, which I mean can work sometimes, but like
But
when
I
it's
mean,
not,
in not a
it,
great way. I mean, I was
no,
really
no, I
looking at my
know.
watch all the way through.
Mhm. I just mean like because I think I could see somebody seeing this, really enjoying it, still feeling like it's like a 4 hour long movie, and like that's part of what they like about it. You know what I mean? Where it kind of plays into uh, just kind of some of the feelings that this guy is feeling. Where, like you feel like you're in his head more.
Yeah, Danston says to be fair, people should write what they know best, and that includes being a writer. Yeah, but you also have to kind of keep in mind stuff that reads as overdone and trite and pretentious. So like
Mhm.
you do that at your own risk. And part of the reason
Yeah.
King gets away with it is because he is so uh, seasoned. Like I guess he does that some early also, but like it it shines through that he's writing from the perspective of somebody with a lot of knowledge of that profession. A lot of writing about writing reads real novice. And again, like I'm a writer now, and obviously here we're talking about a guy that had written quite a bit before he comes into this, and so like technically it's totally fair to do that, but it's not like this is a movie that's exploring what it's like to be a playwright or a like play director. It's not really exploring that.
Mhm. Well, I feel like that's probably something that this guy likes writing about. And forgive my ignorance because I haven't seen it, but isn't there some of that in adaptation as well? I know it's
It's
probably
been
been
too
like a long
long.
time since you've watched it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was like I don't know. I could be entirely wrong, but it might just be something that this guy specifically kind of goes back to the well for. Like it's
mm-hmm.
something he finds interesting.
And again, that's not even the thing that maybe that lost me with it.
Yeah, no, of course, of course.
Uh, but when you get to the last half hour and we get that big speech about how like the majority of time you spend not existing both before you're born and after you're born, and then you have this little window where you're like actually alive, and then so many of us waste a lot of that and then sadly don't make enough of it. And that like all of that really resonated with me. And again, it's not like I've never heard it before, but just
Mhm.
in the kind of eloquent way that was thrown out, like that kind of hit me.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's very universal. You know, like I think everyone can agree that they've had at least some element of, you know, waiting too long to do something or being on autopilot through a moment or whatever it is.
Yeah, and pretending like you're always going to be around, like
Hmm.
ignoring the aging process. Like I think
Yeah, well, especially when you're younger.
I think that's what a lot of this movie is about, is ignoring
Hmm.
the aging process.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, especially like that. Also goes into everything with the kids,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
specifically just the one kid, really.
being middle aged now, like
Mhm.
I'm 41, I've got a teenager who's going to be an adult in 3 years. I I was hit pretty hard by, and I think this was in that same speech. But that whole idea of you 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 get older and people stop paying attention to you that used to be in your life, and like you lose those people, and then you start like losing your faculties and your sense of self like the older you get, and then eventually the universe like forgets you and doesn't care about you anymore. And again, like all of that I really appreciated.
Mm.
Like I
Yeah,
liked
for
how
sure.
I liked how blunt all of that was.
Hmm.
Just like
Yeah,
really
no,
getting at
absolutely.
the heart of it, in a society where to this day we still just don't like to talk about death.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's something that's, and this is a terrible movie, but something that always resonated with me from the fourth indie movie, where he's looking at a picture of his dead boss from the original trilogy and Sean Connery, and his new boss is like, yeah, you know, you live long enough to see um, you stop gaining things and you start seeing them be taken away.
Yeah.
So, no, like, I absolutely appreciate that.
And like there's lessons to be learned from that. You know,
Hmm.
like it sounds, and in its way it is, like it sounds hopeless. It sounds like there's nothing you can do. You know, we're all just living in the burning house. But then I I think Hoffman's character is supposed to represent the exact wrong way to live life. You know,
Hmm.
like as he is developing his play, he's constantly living in the past and just trying to recreate his whole life rather than living in it as it is now. And
Hmm.
he's never reinventing himself. And I
Hmm.
think
No, and he's
that's
constantly having to take characters out where he's like, oh,
yeah.
you know, this person just lost that person. Well, okay, now they're out of my play. Oh, like this person's gone out of my life. Okay, now they're out of the play. Like, yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
good
It's
good
very
call. Yeah, he's
much.
like revising his history instead of like I think maybe
Well,
a
not
big
only that, but
lesson.
just like
Yeah,
now, you know, now they're gone. Like he's so like locked in this play that like elements of his life are leaving, and
yeah,
I think that's very important for, you know, how you don't really see his parents go. Like they're gone in the background because he isn't paying attention. He's not stopping and smelling the roses and actually living his life, as much as, like you said, he's trying to recreate it on stage through his work.
yeah, and then doesn't see it evaporating around him, which I
Hmm.
assume is what the whole business is at the end with the city decaying outside of of the building.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's got to
exactly.
be
Yeah, I think so too.
what that's representing. But yeah, I hadn't had this thought until now. I'm thinking at least, and I don't know if this is intended, but like a lesson you can take from this is you've got to reinvent yourself every so often. Like at least to some degree. Like you're not. You know, I've always said this. You're not the same person from year to year, decade to decade. And if you keep trying to be yourself at 20 when you're 50, 60, 70, you're probably going to be miserable. Like, you've got to let yourself naturally evolve.
Hmm. Yeah, and spend time with your kids and your wife, even if they suck,
Yeah,
because eventually they're going to be gone.
and embrace getting older. Like,
Hmm.
everything about the human condition is just anachronism, right? Like we're all walking contradictions. I think it's simultaneously true that you should embrace getting older, and that also uh, the whole kind of age is a number thing. Like I think I agree with both of those ideas to some degree.
Hmm.
Where you can still like have fun and like all the things you always liked, but there's degree of realism that you've got to embrace, or you're just going to be absolutely miserable.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So like you
Sorry, I have like really bad allergies. My eyes killing me.
Oh, I'm
Sorry.
sorry, man. That sucks.
No, it's okay.
But like you gotta try not to let yourself get too depressed. And I mean, you grieve what you gotta grieve, and then you move on. But you gotta
Mhm.
try not to get too depressed about, like, you get into your 60s and you just can't play basketball as well as you used to. But then there's always still gonna be those things that you've always loved that you can enjoy. So maybe you can't play it, but you can still watch it on TV. That sort of, or you can go to your grandkids' basketball games. So whatever it is.
Force your children to live the dreams you never did. You will be a basketball star.
I understand this movie is interesting because aside from Hoffman, the entire cast is filled with female actresses. It's kind of felon-esque in that way. I'm not sure what that means.
Feline-esque.
Feline-esque.
Um,
I mean, there are other uh, men in the movie. There are a lot of actresses. He's right. It's funny he said
yeah, it is
female
mostly like his
actresses,
biggest relationship.
because I always laugh when people say that, because like an actress is just inherently female, but then there's a character in this movie that says female actress.
There you go.
That
You
actually
just
came
quoted
up,
the
and I
movie.
laughed at it there, and I just laughed at it here.
Well, and then later on, he himself is played by a female actress.
Right. Yeah, we're doing something with that.
That's his Bob Dylan period, where sometimes we get women to play Bob Dylan.
I haven't figured this whole movie out clearly.
Mhm.
I feel like this whole time I've just been sort of grasping at straws.
Is that not what life truly is, though? We're just in the dark, grasping at straws.
Yeah, you watch a thing like this, and when you review it, it's hard not to just spend the entire time philosophizing. Like,
Exactly. I mean, YouTubers are the modern philosopher.
that's unfortunate.
I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
If that's the case, it may be finally time for that EMP, Austin.
Oh, I was gonna say for like the Earth to explode.
No, we don't have to go all the way to that. We just need to shut down all the technology so that we can get back to basics.
Just have to go full escape from LA.
Escape from LA. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, zombie apocalypse would probably also do it, but then you have to contend with the zombies.
Yeah. Yeah. Then that would just suck.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Escape from LA is way better. Do that.
So neither of us loved sitting through this movie, but I feel like to
No,
some degree we both have like certain admirations for it. I mean, speaking for
yeah, I
myself, I
think even just
certainly do.
talking. No, I think even just talking with you about it and like certain things in the movie, like I said at the beginning, like I do feel like it is a movie that I could appreciate more talking about than watching, but because I definitely have that just now,
Oh,
in the
he's
moment.
talking about Fellini, the director. Okay,
That's
I
what I figured.
okay.
I just thought it was funny to say, it's mostly women, so it's feline-esque.
Yeah, I always feel the need to. I guess I could have prefaced again, but I always feel the need to throw in the caveat when we do these things that I'm not like a movie expert. Like, I've seen a decent number of movies, I guess, but like I'm not like a giant film guy. So when we watch stuff like this, I always feel like I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage.
Well, I will throw out one over that and say this movie is mostly women. It's very Beyond the Valley of the Dolls-esque in that sense.
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say. I'll do you one better. I don't even like movies.
Exactly.
This is the
That
first
too.
movie I've ever seen.
And let me tell you, I was very confused as to why the pictures were moving. It made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would probably put this on a top 20 list of movies that would be bizarre to watch if you've never seen a movie, like at all.
See, if I ever have a child, which I won't, but if I do, this will be the first film that I show them.
Well, I don't think you should have children then. Um, it's probably for the best that. No, I'm kidding. You know, it's funny
No,
that
they're gonna grow up super smart. They started with this movie.
it's funny earlier that you mentioned Noises Off because I actually had that thought while I
Yes,
was.
I couldn't name that movie. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I had that thought while I was watching this, where I was like, just imagine if the movie he's trying to make this whole time is Noises Off,
That'd be great.
where he's like,
And it's got Christopher Reeve in it.
and then you'd have a play within a play within a play.
I totally just realized I was like we went full circle, brought up Christopher Reeve, and then I remembered that was off camera.
Yeah,
So it's like a bit of a meta thing.
that's true. Yeah, he had to be there, but you couldn't have been unless you were the two of us because we weren't broadcasting yet.
That's right.
But we might be able to bring you into what will become like a shared delusion, where if we talk about it long enough, you'll think we said it on camera, even though we didn't. Like we'll implant a memory retroactively in your head, and you'll think that you heard us talk about Christopher Reeve earlier when we didn't. But we did, but you weren't there. But now you think you were.
I mean, was there really a house, or was it just group hypnosis?
That wasn't really a magic hubcap. The magic was inside of you all along.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason Austin and I happened to be talking about Christopher Reeve before the video, unless it was actually in the video, uh, it wasn't, but I'm trying to make you think it was, is because
What is happening? I feel like I'm going insane.
I'm very proud of this. Is because tomorrow night Austin and I are reviewing the Helen Slater Supergirl movie, and we were talking about how Christopher Reeve is not in this movie, but a poster of him is.
So you only have that on DVD. Did you upgrade? Did you feel the need to upgrade?
No, I've
for
not
this movie
upgraded
one?
this yet.
Oh,
Maybe I'll go out tomorrow and see if I can find a Blu-ray.
I'm a little shocked they didn't slap that into the Blu-ray or 4K sets of the Reeve movies.
Yeah, I was too. I had to double check my big box set to make sure it wasn't in there, but it's not.
Well, in the 4K set, they were like the 5-movie set. I was like, ah, man, they slapped Superman Returns into it. That sucks. I don't want to own that movie. And then I got it in the mail, and they just counted the 2 versions of Superman 2 as a different movie, but which I think is a little cheap. But whatever. The 5th one could have been Supergirl.
See, this is probably going to be one of those movies where there's really no reason to get the Blu-ray unless it's a way better transfer, because I bet it's not going to have any special features.
You never know.
For some reason on Amazon right now, the Blu-ray is $10 less expensive than the DVD. I don't really understand that. Sometimes that happens.
There's a landfill full of Supergirl DVDs, and they're like, okay, we can either pull one of those out, or we have to make a new Blu-ray.
Exactly.
You're paying the difference.
Well, yeah, that's what we're doing tomorrow, and Austin's never seen it.
No, I'm very frightened.
And the only reason I'm excited to do this is to get your reaction to it.
Frightening.
And I say that because I've done my bit on this. Like I've got an old scripted rewind and a commentary on this already. So this will be another
I
one of
didn't
those.
know you had a commentary on it.
Oh yeah, I did it with Oliver Harper years ago.
Yeah,
when we were doing
well, I
our
knew you guys
series.
did the Superman movies, but I didn't realize. Like, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't have been too shocking if you guys skipped Supergirl. But
No, we did it.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. So this will
Right
be
on.
another, updated commentary where it's like, where are we at on it now? Because it's been a million years since I've said anything about that movie.
Mm-hmm. You're just gonna be like, I'm gonna let Austin do all the talking, and he's just gonna fall asleep on camera, and then, you know,
Well, that would be my plan, except for the
silence.
falling asleep on camera part, because we probably shouldn't have like an hour of dead air. That would just that'd be fantastic after this review.
Mhm.
So we've really tanked our week here.
Yeah, hey, we had like a banger of a start, I guess. I don't. Nobody cared about Resurrection Man.
We did. We really enjoyed Resurrection Man.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I knew that wasn't gonna draw big credit. It actually did a little better than I expected it to.
Hmm. No, I think so too.
Uh, Septic Stream. I appreciated the obscure stuff like the '90s Captain America commentary. Uh, the hell would who the hell would do that besides you guys? Well, and what's funny is we'll have to do it again now.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's like one of those movies where, like a Captain America movie comes out, people are like, oh, we're gonna do that old bad movie on our YouTube channel to like cash in on this new one coming out. Uh, when we get there, we might be the only people that have a commentary on the Red Brown Captain America movies.
Yeah, yeah, very possibly. I think we've probably already done 3 or 4 movies at least that nobody else has commentaries on, or even
Yeah.
a lot of video content. Because we're almost at 50. We've
Hmm.
definitely already done some pretty obscure stuff, including our last commentary, which was the specials. Nobody's got any content on that hardly.
Hmm. Yeah.
There's a couple of more
No,
recent
exactly.
videos now because I think some people are starting to realize that that's Gunn's actual first piece of superhero work, and so people are starting to finally look at it. But
Well, you might have people too that did exactly what I just said for Gunn, but he keeps making things. So it's like, okay, you did Super, you did Slither. Okay, pull out the Wikipedia page. Okay, you
I
do
guess we got to do
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo now. We'll do our
What the hell
Scooby
is
Doo
this? The
double
specials?
feature.
Okay,
What is that?
Superman 6 is coming out. We gotta. I bet you didn't know he made this movie.
Oh, Septic Stream says he likes Star Trek Five in my commentary on it. Thanks, man.
Star Trek 5 is pretty awesome.
That's always fun to talk about.
Hmm. No, that's a great movie.
And I own the
Um,
official marshmallow dispenser.
of course you
I
do.
have the craft marshmallow dispenser that you had to order out of a cereal box for. Not that I did that, but I found one on eBay.
I also want to mention this because it made me laugh earlier,
We're
but
totally gonna finish the video here in a second.
Skeptic Stream
Go ahead.
also said that he took a nap a couple of hours ago and put on the She-Hulk watch together while he was on his nap, and it was funny waking up a couple of times just to the things we were talking about.
Well,
I'm sure that was beautiful.
that's a place where I
That's
can't
also just
believe.
surreal to me because I do that a lot where it's like I'll go to sleep and have something playing in the background. So it's weird to think that now somebody does that with me.
Well, with She-Hulk, I can't believe that he woke up and we were talking about anything.
He probably woke up to me being like, but it's not what you think.
I just think that could be one where there's a little bit of dead air. I don't know. I guess you'd get more of that with Secret Invasion.
I was gonna say probably Secret Invasion. I feel like with She-Hulk we were like going off at stuff the whole time. I feel like Secret Invasion was a lot of just dead air.
It is odd some of the stuff that I've only watched talking over now.
Hmm.
Like I've never actually given those things their true day in
Those
court. You
products.
know? Yeah.
I mean, go right ahead and watch them on your own cap. No one's stopping you.
Austin's like, I'm pretty sure the verdict is gonna be the same.
You're still gonna hate it, but not for the reasons you think.
I
Good night, everybody.
I met a guy the other day, super nice guy. But we were talking about superhero stuff, and he's got these really cool, very detailed superhero tattoos, but
Mhm.
that's like comic art. But the man's never read a comic book, Like everything he likes with superheroes is just screen stuff, and he's not especially um critical when it comes to MCU stuff. And so he's got, I didn't ask him about this, but one of the tattoos he has is a full body She-Hulk. And I'm like, you got a She-Hulk tattoo because of the She-Hulk show. Like there's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
I was just very very surprised by that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Dan's criticizing us for drawing out the stream, which is correct. But I don't know. It's just what Cap and I do. We get lost in a conversation that never ends.
This has become the tradition for this show.
It's just any show. We do this all the time.
Yeah, we're the worst. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow night with a rewind commentary for Supergirl, and then we will reveal our 50th show, which most everybody has called by now, but we're still not going to officially reveal it until tomorrow night. We're going to do a big major movie for you next week.
That's right. What are we doing next on the ReQuest?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Austin. Next time... Oh, and I forgot to mention that this movie tonight was requested by Vic Apocalypse. I usually say that at the start. I completely forgot to do that. It's in the show notes, though. So anyway, thanks, Vic Apocalypse, for this fascinating film that I did not fully appreciate, but was interesting to talk about. And I almost guarantee you I would like better on a second viewing, Austin. But next time, Goofster123 is asking us to do something that we've never done together, and I don't know that I've ever done at all, which is an audio drama. We're going to do the new Batman Audio Adventures. And he's got just episode 1 listed here. I'll find out how long that is and if we want to go any further than that. Because I don't know if those are like hour long or if they're shorter than that.
Yeah, I don't even know where to find that. Like, that might be... that might be on YouTube, but I don't know.
Here it's on...
Does he have the link?
No. Here it's on Max.
Oh, okay. It's definitely not on our equivalent, so I'll have to find a way to
see if there's a way to get it. Let me know if you whether or not you're able to get your hands on it. But
yeah, for sure.
But yes, I'm pretty sure that stuff is streaming like it's a streaming show, but it's not. But it doesn't have a video component.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure I can find it somewhere.
Hopefully so. But like I said, let me know if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, definitely.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you want to make a request yourself, go to patreon.com/geekvolution, and the $15 tier lets you pick a movie or comics or the pilot and next episode or 2 of a TV show, and you only have to stay subscribed for 1 month in order to get on the list. We've still got a backlog, but we're catching up some. So feel free to throw something on there if you want to, and it's going to be a few months, but we will get to you eventually. We will see you guys again next time. I was Captain Logan, and this was Austin the Day Ghost.
Good night, everybody.
Did you just bow?
Yeah, because you went like that, and then I did that, and then I bowed.
Oh, that was pretty good. We should start synchronizing that. Anyway.
Right? Yeah.
But we've had a lag, so... Anyway, see you later, folks. Bye.
See ya.